Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse Frugally, and I am so excited about today's video. I know you all have some wooden items hanging around in your stash and you need some inspiration, and this is the video for that. This first one is, oh my goodness, perfection. I absolutely love it. I was at the Goodwill bins, believe it or not. They gave me this wood beat up cutting board for $1, and it is pretty big. And of course somebody had burnt it, which is just phenomenal. So I took it outside and I gave it a good sanding. I cleaned it up, and now I am painting it in this beautiful robin's egg blue type color that I custom mixed. Unfortunately, can't give you the exact name, but it started with a sample blue that I got at Home Depot. So whenever you're on the at the Home Depot paint section, they have these buckets for $5. So they have lots of different colors. You might find one that's already a color that you like. Green would be gorgeous here too. But I have been using a lot of blues this year because my entryway has blues in it. And I have just loved the combination here today. So I think this came out perfect. So once I gave this a good, fairly thick coat, I took it outside and heavily distressed it with my sander. I really wanted to make sure that this looks worn and old, and took out this gorgeous Catarina transfer from IOD, which is, oh, beyond gorgeous. Before I continue, today's What Would You Make is hosted by Brenda and Christine, and the special host this month is Tiffany. Make sure you check out their channels and the playlist in my description box for a lot more inspiration on what to do with all that wood. Well, I am going to go through this book and want to put every single transfer onto this thing because they are so beautiful. But I do decide which colors I think are going to work best with this and cut those out. And then, play with the placement. But it's funny because I had an idea in my mind, and actually last minute I end up changing it. So I am starting with these gorgeous pinkish peach roses. Transferring those down, burnishing those down, you all know the drill. And then I am going to add another stem of a little bit darker colored rose on the bottom of that, just coming off where the natural stems appear to come from. You always want to lay the one in the back first and then the one in the front after that. And then once I get those on there and burnished down, they are already spectacular. You could stop here. Absolutely. But I find in my life that as much as I spend on these gorgeous transfers, I don't always use them all. And so I am taking the bird, saying, should I put the bird here? Should I put a different branch coming down off of there? Decide on the branch. The bird just doesn't have quite exactly the right coloring that I'm looking for. And finish that off with that third beautiful, beautiful rose. So I am going to then take my little finger sander, and this is totally optional, but for me, obviously, this is already looking fairly distressed, especially the points that have some wood showing behind them. I want to distress that and make that look like, of course, that transfer also was a little distressed in that area. Now, I want to take some dark antiquing wax, but I don't want to just do the dark wax because I know that might be a little too dark, so I mix some clear wax, which is a little bit liquidy, in together with that and coat the whole top and side. I am going to save the other side of this project for a different project sometime, probably in another season. So for now, I'm just going to concentrate on the one. And I am already absolutely in love with the way that this is coming out. I have had this in my mind to do for a long time and didn't have quite the right cutting board. So when I saw this cutting board at the Goodwill bins, and I just couldn't pass it up. And I thought it was going to be at least $3. So whenever she said $1, I was like, oh my goodness, I wish there were 10 more, 20 more. So that was such an amazing find. I don't know if you'll have as good luck, but I have a feeling many of you have a beat up old piece of wood, you can cut your own, or you already have a cutting board and you have a beautiful transfer. I have to say that altogether using 3 small pieces of this transfer was probably $3, $4. So this was a very inexpensive way to get this perfect, gorgeous, amazing looking cutting board. It is perfection for me. I absolutely love it. I hope you love it too. It is exactly what I had in my brain, and I am delighted with how it looks. Now, of course, a cutting board in the entryway may not be what I do with it. I don't know, but I do love it. So let me know what you think about the first one. And the second one, I know you probably have or can certainly pick up for $1 or $2 somewhere. A wooden recipe box. These are easy to come by. I have 2 at this moment in my stash, probably 3 if I go down to my garage. So this one's a pretty lightweight wood, kind of a pretty weathered gray. I like the color. Don't love the word recipe on the front because it may not be what I would use it for. And I'm not crazy about the 2. I assume that's where you put the recipe card in the little slot on the top. I should know because I'm older, but I don't. So anyways, I am going to take out this new trimming mold that I have, and I am going to just take some IOD clay, and I am going to press in some of that to fill those 2 areas. Now, I do like working with the IOD clay when you are pressing into molds. Crayola modeling clay is phenomenal to make those little bunnies. And if you didn't see me make those little bunnies out of clay, you absolutely want to. It takes a minute and a half rolling a snake of clay and making the cutest little bunny. The 5 Under 5 one with Wendy from White Sparrow Living and Emily from Farm Charm Sheep. Here is what the thumbnail looks like for that one. Has the cutest chicks and the cutest bunnies. You're going to want to save it for next year. So definitely take a look at that because those bunnies came out so stinking cute, and so did the chicks, and they are so easy to make. So definitely get yourself some of that Crayola modeling clay for that, and it's cheap. That modeling clay is cheap. IOD clay is a little bit more expensive. I think I paid $12, and it is a smaller amount of clay, but I have to tell you, it goes a long way. I am pleasantly surprised the number of projects that I have put together. And so I'd buy it again because it smooths easily and it lifts easily. You don't even need the cornstarch, depending on the mold that you're using. But I did not need cornstarch in these molds at all, which I like not to use the cornstarch if I can help it because, of course, it leaves cornstarch on the clay. Glue it right on there. You do want to make sure you are aware that it is going to shrink. After I got these on the top of the box, I wish I had not cut them until a few hours later because having cut them exactly the size of the box caused a tiny bit of shrinkage there. So note to self, when you use this clay, let it stay a little extra long. You can always cut it off later and then sand it if you have to. So that's, my pro tip. There you go. Not so pro, clearly. Best to use a wood glue or a paper glue here. Definitely not the hot glue. I don't find that the hot glue works well on clay at all. I do use it sometimes, like you'll see me use it in a minute after I use some of the wood glue just for permanent hold, but honestly, it rarely ever works with such a wet, the clay is definitely still wet. If you wait till your clay mold is dry, absolutely that'll work fine. Now, this is another one of those beautiful molds. Never remember the name of these molds, but it has the absolute cutest little bunnies on it, and y'all know I love bunnies. And it has some pretty flowers, and it's a little bit different outside of my norm as far as the decor pieces, almost a little Dutch. If you think about back in the day, those Dutch paintings, they used to paint on trunks, and I don't know, that's the vibe I get from it. But I don't have a lot with greenery in it, and it has an extra small trimming mold at the bottom, as well as the bunny. So whether I use the flowers or not, who knows, but it's definitely something that I think that was worth the small amount of money that I paid for it. So I am just pressing in 2 of the greenery to start. And basically, I want to cover the word recipes And so the nice thing about using a clay mold and rather than a resin mold is that you have the flexibility to kind of change that. So I want to sort of move those around a little bit to cover that word as best I can here. And then once I have those there, I'm going to glue them in. And then I decide they're too big. I need to trim off until I get the right size. But after that, I'm going to add a flower to the center of that. And I think that tulip little one is probably going to be the best to cover the words and to fit everything into that space. So once I get that all glued down, I really like the gray brown of the wood that's already there. That is the whole reason I am attempting not to have to paint this box. So I want to get this all down and then decide what to do over the top of the clay to protect it. Now, I decided that what I wanted to do was basically just do a wax. So I took a clear wax and added to it a touch of a gray paint to make it a colored wax, which is a great way to save money. You don't have to buy all the different colors out there. You can just mix up your own. And then I just brushed that all over, especially concentrating on the dry wood and also just to go over the top of the clay so that it will protect it and also give it a little bit of color. And then once I had that all painted on, I just took some paper towel and wiped that back. So that way it will kind of still remain that brownish gray color, and yet it will fill in the peaks and valleys on the clay pieces and also dry a little lighter. So here it is, just with a little hanky coming out of it and a cute little gray bird on top of it. But obviously this piece could be used for any number of things. Hide whatever you need to hide. So that takes me on to 3. This is a cheese box. It's probably sitting in someone's garage, honestly. I've scrubbed it, but I just can't get that out. So I love the wood on the outside, and even though the words will be upside down in this project, opted to just take a little bit of paint. I just sort of added a touch of brown to my white and mixed that together to give me just a little bit of an off-white color here. That just goes better with my home. And then I am just going to give this one good coat on the inside and top edge, and then I am going to take my heat gun and dry that good. And if there's a little bit of bleed through, I'm okay with that. That'll just add to the vintage feel of this box. And I did dry the exterior of the box as well, since that got wet during washing. And then I took out my kindest regards stamp and some IOD ink, and I am just going to ink up a little bit of that and put the words on the right way, because the cheese words are upside down. I figured if I added a little script, those would be less noticeable, but you would still have something in the background. You probably have a piece of wood or a wooden box around that you could do something like this with. I think these cheese boxes are fairly common, but if not, I'm sure you can find something to recreate if this is something you're interested in. Then I just added a couple more stamps, a little postage stamp, a little bee from the IOD collection that I had. Then I went into the bits and pieces of my IOD transfers and decided that I wanted on the other side to just add a little bit of color, a little something spring, a little something floral for this. Now, I did have a little bit of trouble on this one, though it's a very old box, and even though I scrubbed it good, it could have had a little bit of debris left on it, or it could have a little bit of wetness, making it a little hard to get the whole transfer to go down. So one little pro tip here is to put a little bit of decoupage medium or glue just on the back part of that and rub that down, and that should cause it to stick to the surface just enough for you to peel that back. And then I usually go over the whole thing with Mod Podge or clear coat or something to make sure that this isn't going to lift up in future, especially when you're using a really old piece of wood like this. And because I don't like to waste any of those, I added a few little bits and pieces left and then finished that off. And so here is how that box came out. I just filled it with a few pieces of ephemera and some greenery and a few little rusty crusties that I had hanging around, a cute little handkerchief, and that is all I have for you today. So those are the 3 wooden items that I have made. I would love it if you would hit like and leave a comment to let me know which one was your favorite. And please share this with someone. I am so close to 4,000 subscribers. I would really appreciate that. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed. And don't forget to check out the playlist. I will see you in the next one. Take care.